Okay, so we're going to start looking at the surface area of prisms. Now let's talk about the prism first. A prism is a solid, so it could be a three-dimensional figure. It's a solid where the top and the bottom are the same, and then everything else are rectangles. For example, look at the room where you're located in right now. Look at the top and the bottom, right? We should call the ceiling and floor. All right, so look at the top and the bottom, and they have the exact same shape. Now, the rest, so look at the walls, they are all rectangles. Okay, so prism is when the top and the bottom are the same shape and the rest are rectangles. For today, we're going to be looking at triangular prisms. Okay, so that would mean that the top and the bottom are triangles, right? We should call those bases. So the top and the bottom are triangles and everything else are rectangles. Now, the surface area is, imagine you were to call a painter. All right, painter, can you please come over to my house? I want you to paint this room. Now, the painter, what he's going to be doing is he's going to break everything into shapes. So he looks at the walls, he looks at it as a rectangle. Let's say you also ask him, I want you to paint the ceiling. So he looks at the ceiling and he gets the area of the ceiling. He breaks everything into shapes. So what I want you to do, so let's take a look at question number 8. This is a triangular prism. So what I want you to do is, first of all, break it down into shapes. So the top and the bottom are going to be two triangles. So let me just do a triangle on the top, a triangle at the bottom. And I know this figure is going to have rectangles. Now, in this case, there are going to be 3 rectangles. This shape is going to have 3 walls. If you're in a traditional room where the bases are rectangles, you probably have 4 walls. But a prism, a triangular prism, has 3 walls. The amount of rectangles, the amount of walls are equal to the amount of sides on the base. Right? Since my triangles have 3 sides, there are 3 walls, 3 rectangles. In your room, probably you have 4 sides. Your base has 4 sides, so you have 4 walls. Okay, but in this case, 3. And I'm gonna get the area of each of these shapes. And then I'm just gonna add them up. So let's take a look. For a triangle, let me just focus on one triangle here. For a triangle, I need to find the 90-degree angle. Okay, I see it here. And I remembered, I have to multiply the 2 numbers that make the 90-degree angle. So I see it here. So I'm gonna go 6.4 times 9, right? To begin with, I have to multiply the 2 numbers that make the 90-degree angle, and then I have to divide this by 2. Remember, a triangle is half of a rectangle, so 6.4 times 9, divide this by 2. That's gonna give me the area of my triangle. In this case, I get 28.8. All right. So I'm going to say that each of my triangles is 28.8. Good. Now let me worry about the wall. So let me erase this. I'm going to look for the height of this prism. So the number that has nothing to do with my triangles, in this case, is 9. This thing. Right? Is the distance between the triangles. Like I said, is the height. So 9. I'm going to multiply 9 times each side of my rectangle. Okay, so I need to look at my rectangle again, and I need to know the measurement of each of my sides. I know one side is 7, another side is 9, and the third side is 9. And I know the height of the prism is 9. So I'm going to go 9 times each of the sides of my triangle. So I'm going to go 9 times 7, 9 times 9, and 9 times 9. Notice how I went 9, which is the height. See how I circle 9? I'm going to go 9 times each of the sides of my triangles. All right, now just add everything. So I'm going to go 28.8 plus 28.8, and then plus the rectangles. My answer happens to be 282.6. Now do me a favor. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. It says here, round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. So that means 1 decimal place. Now, keep in mind, I said round your answer, not the work. So if one of your triangles has 2 decimal places, do not round it. Okay, don't round the work, round the answer. So only at the end, round it to 1 decimal place. It says to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay, so 282.6. More than likely, you're going to be dealing with decimals. All right, let's take a look at question number 9. I know that this thing has to have 2 triangles. So I'm going to draw my 2 triangles here. And then because my triangles have 3 sides, I'm going to have 3 walls, right? 3 rectangles in the center. If my base had 4 sides, which we're going to see starting tomorrow, then I'm going to have more rectangles in the center. All right, so let me worry about my triangle first. I'm always looking for the 90-degree angle. It's made in this case by 6 and 8. All right, you guys see that triangle? Let me complete that triangle. But you see my 90-degree angle here. It is made by 6 and 8. So I'm going to, for my triangle, let me go 6 times 8 and then divide this by 2. Remember, 6 times 8 gives me a rectangle, but a triangle is half of a rectangle. So I go 6 times 8 divided by 2, I get 24. Right, so each of my triangles is 24. Let me find out the height, the number that has nothing to do with my triangles. In this case, it's 11. Okay, so the height of the prism is 11. I'm going to multiply 11 times each of the sides of my triangle. All right, so let me see what are the sides of my triangle. I know one of my sides is 8, the other one is 6, and the third one is 10. So I'm going to go 11 times each of those sides. So let me go 11 times 8, 11 times 6, and 11 times 10. Now I'm just going to add everything up. And I get 312. Let me zoom out so you guys can see what we did. All I do is I break it into 2 triangles, get the area of each of my triangles, and then my walls inside. All right, look at your room. Look at the room you're located inside. You see there are walls, and they all happen to be rectangles.